What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at this, the facelift version of the G32 BMW 6 Series GT. This is the best version you can buy. That might not be true, actually. This is a 640i xDrive, so it's the B58 straight 6 petrol engine, which has had a little nip in power, so it now has 333 horsepower instead of 340, but the 640D is probably the best version to have. It has 340 horsepower and 700 newton meters of torque. But this is the top of the line petrol version, and it has had a little update, an LCI as they call it at BMW. So we've got new headlights, new grille, new bumper, stuff like that. Today I'm going to show you around it. I'll show you the interior. We'll talk a bit about why this car exists and if you should buy it, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. It got the same update as the 5 Series, of course, so you have the new headlights with the new daytime running lights. This car has the BMW laser lights as well, so you get these little blue accents, which looks very cool. New grille, bigger, slightly bigger, and it is now one piece, so you can see it meets in the middle there. And this car has the M Sport package, so that also means you get quite an aggressive front bumper with like these this intake here. This one is closed, as you can see, but there's a radiator behind that one, little air curtain on the side as well. But I do think the car, it is a lot more handsome than the pre-facelift, and the 6 Series GT in general is a lot more handsome than the 5 Series GT was, which was kind of an awkward, bulky thing. This does look a bit more sleek. Now, half of these 6 Series GTs go to China and South Korea, and the other half is spread around the rest of the world. So you don't see them that often. And that is because it's quite a weird car. It has the wheelbase of a 7 Series, but it's more like the size of a 5 Series Touring. It has more boot space than a 5 Series Touring with the seats up, which you wouldn't say, but it has quite a big boot. It is a hatchback, and it has like 7 Series adjacent comfort. So it is actually quite an interesting car. It is very practical, and it is a very no-nonsense approach. If the sentence "no offense" was a car, this is it, basically. I mean, it can't do anything wrong because it's not outspoken, or, you know, it's not really anything. It is just very good at a couple of things, which is quite funny. It's a very utilitarian car in that respect, because it doesn't do anything more than it needs to. So wheels, we've got these 20-inch wheels, BMW individual wheels with behind that just regular brakes, not great brakes. They do feel a bit soft. And then we've got 245 section tires at the front, little M badge over there, shadow line, window surrounds. We've got a glass roof, and apparently this is not a light car. It's close to 2,000 kilos, but apparently if you select this panoramic roof, they have to stiffen the floor of the car to reach the same stiffness as the cars without the glass roof. I'm not sure if that happens with every car, but that is quite a bit more weight, apart from the fact that, you know, all this glass weighs more, and you have like the motors and stuff like that, and the frame of the window, or the frame of the glass. But apparently it adds quite a bit of weight, because they have to make adjustments to the floor. Now, this of course is what this car is about. It is, as I said, it's got the wheelbase of a 7 Series, so that is quite long, and that means that you have a lot of interior space. So this is very, very comfy. The seats are really comfy as well. We've got this beautiful BMW individual leather, so it's like very soft, beautiful stitching as well. Little pillows on the headrest, and I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it has this like bulge here. This is a very comfy car to sit in the rear. So there we go, little screen in the rear as well, which they did improve a lot over the last few years, but still I'm not sure you can do that much with it. I mean, you can see like the media stuff. You can install like apps as well, so maybe you can do something with that, but This one doesn't have a lot of stuff, but it is a touchscreen and the quality is a lot better than before. So that is quite nice. 2 USB-C ports here as well, climate stuff, heated seats. And then this car also has the blinds in the rear, which I have to say, they go up quite quickly. And then in the rear we've got new lights as well, with that 3D design to make it a little less bulky in the rear. And as I said, this car has more boot space than a 5 Series Touring when the seats are up compared to a 5 Series Touring. But when you put the seats down, a 5 Series has more boot space. But you can put the seats down using this button. You can take this out and then you basically have like a big loading area. And it is a hatchback, so it is a very, very practical car. It really combines like the practicality of a 5 Series Touring with the luxury of a 7 Series basically. Now engine wise, we've got the B58 inline 6 with, as I said, 333 horsepower and 450 Newton meters of torque, which is down from 340 horsepower, 450 Newton meters. But they did add like the 48 volt mild hybrid. You can see the purple cables over there, which adds like 11 horsepower. So I'm not sure if that 333 is with that 11, but that is the current state of the B58 in the 640i. It's not as powerful as the M340i, for instance, and it really feels different compared to that car, this drivetrain. It's linked to the ZF 8-speed, of course, only available with automatic. And you don't have the hybrid versions of the 5 Series in this car. I'm not sure if I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think that I think this is like a very specific car. The BMW, I think they know really well who buys this car because it's so targeted, you know. You have like a few engines available. It feels like they know exactly who buys this car. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand this car. But when you drive it, you kind of get it, I think. So, we'll start it up. Startup is also with that 48 volt mild hybrid system, super quick. It's like and it goes. And then sound, yeah, sound is basically absent. It sounds good, but it is very, very quiet, very filtered. All right, so let's take it for a drive. So on the inside we've got the same update as the 5 Series, of course, the new 12.3 inch big display on top, touchscreen as well, with iDrive 7, the best iDrive ever. The iDrive after this 8 is worse. This is perfect. And then this has a little update as well with these black buttons right there. And rest is basically unchanged, but very handsome if you ask me. I really like this interior. Now, driving it, it is a very relaxing experience, I have to say. So I feel like this car is basically made for people who don't really want a 7 Series, because, you know, a 7 Series is also quite large and, you know, you stand out a bit more, and it is also much more expensive. But they do want that experience of that filtered driving experience, and also the luxury, the comfort, without it being too offensive, you know. It's a very friendly car, and I feel like that is the main reason why people buy this car. Comfort and friendliness and relaxation, because these seats, the comfort seats, are amazing. We have Martijn in the rear. He is very, very comfortable over there. I mean, there's loads of interior space, loads of boot space. It just offers so much. I think in Europe we're more inclined to buy like a touring, a 5 Series touring, if we need a practical car, instead of a hatchback, because, you know, I do think that a 5 Series touring is a more handsome car. This still, it's a bit weird looking. It's miles better than before, especially the 5 Series GT was quite a weird looking car. This is much, much better. It is also 150 kilos lighter this generation compared to the 5 Series GT. But it's still quite a weird car, and I think the 5 Series Touring is super handsome. So I think that's why most Europeans will go for the 5 Series. But this car has so much more legroom in the rear, and it has a completely different focus. The focus is on 4 people and their comfort, basically, and all their stuff that they want to take with them. So performance-wise, it is quite nice. It's quick, but it's not very fast. It just feels like it's just enough to be quick. And I mean, that 640 diesel, you've got 700 Newton meters, which is quite a lot more than this car. We had the 540D before this one, and that car felt quicker. And driving wise, handling wise, it also feels like it is right in the middle of that 5 Series and the 7 Series. It's not as quiet and filtered and floaty as a 7 Series. It does have air suspension as standard in the rear, but so does a 5 Series Touring. But it is definitely a little less sharp than a 5 Series. So I think, yeah, again, they just put it right in the middle, and they are very successful at that. So 100 to 200 kilometers an hour, we also measured that, and we did 15.5 seconds. As I said, it is virtually the same performance as that 540D. Now, I think the way you should look at this car is like a long wheelbase 5 Series. I think that might be it. I think that is the way they position it in China and South Korea as well. I know that they care a lot about their legroom in the rear and all the luxurious features in the rear. So I think that is the way they position this car. A long wheelbase 5 Series that is focused on comfort. And I think that is very successful. 253, that is the top speed as well, the limiter. This car is a bit too close to that truck for my liking, so there we go. But also sound-wise, I mean, you can barely hear that engine running. When you drive it regularly on a Dutch highway, it is so quiet. There's just a little hint of wind noise. There's hardly any tire noise. The engine is absent. So again, with that B58 inline 6, the different characters that BMW offers with this engine is just so cool. And it does feel different in this car. It feels supple and smooth, but it doesn't feel that powerful, also because this car is quite heavy. It still weighs around 2 tons. Little bumps, oh, that is nice. Sport mode, but still, you know, it's so plush. So I think, you know, there are a lot of reasons why you should buy this car. I mean, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, but at least it does have a reason to exist. If you're a bit older, it also, you know, it's a bit higher, so you sit a bit higher up. It's easier to get in and out of. It's comfortable, it's quiet, it has everything you need in here. So yeah, I definitely understand why people buy this car, and I hope I have convinced you of that as well today, because it's quite a nice car. It just lacks a bit of character, maybe, you know. And I think that with this facelift, at least now from the front, it also looks a bit better. That rear is just something that you are going to have to get used to. It might be your thing, it might not be your thing, but hey, at least it offers a lot of value for money, which is also worth something, I think. Now we're going to hit the limiter for the 3rd time now, I think, so that might be it for this review. Cruising at 250, quite impressive. So I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right or this playlist on the left. See you at the next one. Bye.